If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Quarterback's not just about running and throwing. It's also about reading defenses. I mean, and consistency and brilliance. He's the best quarterback ever lived.
I think it's just that Tom Brady has accomplished so much over such a broad spectrum of time that it's becoming kind of a nuanced argument. Like, he is obviously the best because of what he has accomplished individually and with the team success. And then we can start talking about other positions, because obviously Lawrence Taylor transformed the game. Like, where do you put him all time? Obviously Jerry Rice. You still have Joe Montana up there as well. Obviously, you know, Tom Brady playing the same position. People feel like they pass him. Jim Brown, Dion, yes. So it is a bit more of an argument. I think that Tom Brady's just accomplished so much that it's like, what's the point of trying to compare anyone to what Tom Brady has accomplished? So it starts after him.
I've never had more appreciation for him based on what he's done, how he's done it. Anytime something comes his way, adversity-wise, Deflategate, you name it. Yeah. What does he do? He says, take that. And he does it at an even more impressive level. To me, that overtime drive against the Chiefs, converting 3 3rd and 10s, it's insane. And like when they got the ball at the end of regulation with 2 minutes left, I was like, it's over. We're going to overtime. Like, it's over. Yeah, you just have to assume he's going to get it done. He is, to me, the GOAT, period. The greatest, no debate.
His due. And he didn't quite get it the way he should. But can't wait to have an opportunity to watch him play.
If he wins Sunday, will he get it?
He's already got it. That's the point. Tom Brady is the greatest football player to ever play. When you can play that good, that consistently great, year after year after year after year, game after game after game after game. I mean, nobody's ever done it. Nobody's ever done it like Tom Brady. He's the best of all time.
Is that going to be your assistant quarterback coach one day?
That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. Head coach or something. Yeah. Quarterback coach, coordinator, head coach.
You out?
For Tom Brady, I will give him a deep, long bow, shake hands, and I'll coach the quarterbacks for him.
They talk about a bad game because he's 41 years old. Well, he had a bad game when he was 30. So he still is playing great football at his age, and he just needs to not listen to people to tell him how old he is. To just get out there and keep doing what he's doing.
It's not close. It's not close. He's the greatest player of all time. Molly has listed off his postseason accomplishments. He has the most Super Bowl appearances of any player. He's tied for most Super Bowl wins of any player of all time. He plays the most important position in the sport. I would even go one step further than Bob Kraft and Max Kellerman. I would say he is the greatest team sportsman of our time. So I'm going to give all apologies to the Serena Williams and Michael Phelps of the last generation. But I think between LeBron James and Tom Brady, and I think that would be the debate on transcending your sport, I think it's Tom Brady. In the end, it's about winning, and he has done something longer, the longevity, the heights of the sport, the accomplishments, 5-3 in Super Bowls. It's just unparalleled, and it doesn't even take into account neither what I've said so far, what Max has said, how difficult it is, meaning the sport is designed. The sport is designed for you not to stay on top. It's a combative, violent sport with a hard salary cap. Nothing is designed for you to do what Tom Brady and the New England Patriots have done over the past 2 decades. It's really, honestly, it can't be overstated. Not by me, not by Kraft, not by Max. It's simply astounding what Brady has done.
Harbaugh saying Tom Brady the greatest football player of all time. End of discussion. So I guess we're going beyond Nate. Quarterbacks, because I don't think that there's even a discussion to be had there. Is he the greatest player of all time?
To answer your question, Kay, yes, Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time. Now, there's going to be people that will stand up and say, well, what about our favorite athletes or the greatest athletes? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about greatness and how it stands in the sense of winning. Being in the Super Bowl 7 times, winning 5 of them. From what he did and where he was at this season, I think it really defines who the Patriots are. There's so many people that are indifferent about the Patriots, and let's be honest, there's so many people that hate the Patriots. Sure. I mean, we're getting lit up by the Twitter world right now. They're sick, but you can't argue with what they did this year. And if there is a direct reflection of their season, it's this game. I mean, they were down. They were behind. When you thought it was over, just like early in the season, Tom Brady being out, you say, oh, well, That hole is going to be too big for them to dig out of.
Not a chance.
Tom Brady's too old. They don't have Gronk.
Oh, Gronk.
All these different things that we were talking about that will define the season or the lack of season they will have. All of a sudden, we see the type of game that reflects that. And guess what? Patriots come out, they adjust. In the second half, they fix a few things. They have more energy than Atlanta. And Tom Brady leads his team to one of the most entertaining Super Bowls I've ever seen. So, okay, yes, to answer your question, he is the best football player I've ever seen, ever laid my eyes on. And yes, some of it has to do with who he plays for. Some of it has to do with the team. But majority of it has to do with how clutch he is in the biggest moments ever and how much jewelry he has in his jewelry box.
I feel like I know he's the greatest of all time because I not for a second in that game thought that they weren't going to win it.
Really? Really?
No,
I thought it was over.
I knew I couldn't go to sleep because I was like, nope, I know it's about to happen. I know that there's, or at least I know that there's a great chance that this could happen. I think he might have won people over last night.
I hope so.
People want to hate the Patriots. You can't hate what you saw. That is excellence personified. Yes. It was so extraordinary how dominant he is. And he keeps reestablishing and redefining how great he is. 466 yards. He broke that record. He holds every record that there is. He ranks first in every major postseason statistical category. He keeps sort of like reinventing ways to show how great he is. That comeback. Oh, I broke the comeback record 2 years ago. I'll do it again by 25. It's unbelievable. Peter, tell me you agree.
I agree, Kay. And Nate, you spot on, nailed it again. It's symbolic of the season. And, you mentioned all those things that happened. Well, you could also add in that they trade Jamie Collins at the midway point of the season, their best defensive player, arguably. And Chandler Jones gets traded in the offseason. And they lose Gronk. And they just keep on finding a way. But when you talk about the greatest player of all time, you could also talk about this game being symbolic of his career. Talking about a guy who was a 6th-round pick who had 6 other quarterbacks taken before him, and the Patriots passed on him several times before they drafted him. And what happens? Counted out. They keep him on the roster. He's a 4th quarterback. Drew Bledsoe goes down. He comes in, and we come all the way back. And then once again, the controversies, the setbacks, the adversities, the injury when he gets hit by Bernard Pollard. And then we go into these Super Bowl losses to the Giants, and yet Brady finds a way every single time to get back up. And last night, Kay, he was humanized beyond belief because now you have this personal connection with him. He hadn't heard about his mother's illness the entire season. He kept it into his small community. And then on the grandest of stages, international audience, hundreds of millions of people. Wait till you see the number of the rating of this game. Hundreds of millions of people watching. Him just breaking down vulnerability because he conquered. He's 5-2 in the Super Bowl. 5-2. And I'll tell you, Kyle, I know you'll know this because we talk about sports radio debate. If he goes 4-3 in Super Bowls and they get blown out by the Atlanta Falcons, it's a very different discussion of who's the greatest player of all time this morning. It's Brady. Maybe he doesn't always bring it in Super Bowls, but Montana was flawless and Bradshaw was flawless and Jim Brown and Jerry Rice. No. Tom Brady is the greatest football player to ever live, and he did it again last night. He personified everything that the NFL stands for.
And who am I to disagree with Jim Harbaugh or Nate Burleson, and certainly Peter Schrager? But I am going to go the other way. He is not the greatest football player ever. I think he's the greatest athlete ever.
Whoa.
But I do think a lot of the hatred that the Yankees feel, that the Patriots feel, is kind of jealousy. That you're just jealous of the fact that they win and your team doesn't win at the same clip. The same clip was. I mean, even it's not even the same sport. It's so unrelatable. If you're a 17-year-old kid right now to have grown up with this your whole life, it's so unrelatable. I mean, I guess you could argue it's jealousy. I'm just here to speak for the fan who also is allowed to. Yeah, there is some jealousy, sure, and it's annoying.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day. Thanks for watching.